You keep telling yourself you'll wake up early tomorrow. You even set the alarm like it's a promise. Then morning comes and you wake up already negotiating. Just 10 more minutes. I'll start Monday. I'll catch up later. And the worst part isn't that you slept in. It's that you felt for a moment like you had no control over your own body. Like some invisible hand pressed your face back into the pillow and said, "Not today." Japanese monks would look at that moment and say something that might offend you. They would say, "You're not losing to sleep. You're losing to yourself. You want the real reason you can't wake up early? It's not your alarm. It's not your schedule. It's not even your tiredness. It's the identity you rehearse every night and the training you refuse to do." In Japan, there's a word, shugyō. Not motivation, not self-care. Shugyō means disciplined practice that burns weakness out of you. A way of living where you don't ask how you feel first, you ask what must be done. And right now, you're doing the opposite. You're letting feelings run the kingdom. Satoshi, that's you on most mornings, modern, comfortable, clever, and soft in the exact place that matters. You know how to research routines. You know the science of sleep. You know the benefits of morning sunlight. You can name the gurus. But when the alarm rings, all that knowledge collapses in 1 second. Because knowledge doesn't pull you out of bed. Character does. Takeshi, he's the part of you that you keep avoiding. The relentless part. The part that doesn't care about your excuses. The part that knows you're not confused. You're compromised. Let's say it plainly. You don't wake up early because you don't respect your own commands. That's the wound. Not sleep, not fatigue. Authority. Your internal authority is weak. You issue an order at night. Tomorrow I wake up at 5:30, and then you disobey it at 5:30 with 0 consequences. So what happens? Your mind learns something. It learns that your words mean nothing. It learns that your words mean nothing. It learns that you are a leader who cannot enforce discipline. And once your brain learns that, your alarm becomes a joke. Think about that for a moment. If you worked for a boss who changed his mind every morning, who broke his own rules daily, would you take him seriously? Of course not. You'd wait him out. You'd stall. You'd negotiate. That's exactly what your mind does with you. Here's the ugly truth Takeshi would throw in your face. You don't need a better morning routine. You need a stronger chain of command inside your life. And before you argue, "But I'm tired," listen carefully. Tiredness is real. But it's not the deciding factor, because you've been tired and still done things when you had to. You've been tired and caught a flight, tired and met a deadline, tired and shown up when the consequences were immediate. So what's different with waking early? The consequences are delayed, and you've trained yourself to believe you can always escape the cost. So you escape, every time. Now Satoshi will try to be polite with himself. He'll say, "I'm just not a morning person." He'll say, "I function better at night." He'll say, "My genetics." He'll say anything as long as it keeps him comfortable. Takeshi doesn't negotiate. Takeshi asks one question. What are you protecting by staying in bed? Because that's what sleeping in often is. Protection. From discomfort, from silence, from the weight of your own life, from the moment where there's nothing to distract you, and you have to face what you're not doing. Waking up early isn't hard because mornings are cruel. It's hard because early morning exposes you. It shows you your raw willpower with no caffeine, no dopamine, no applause. It's you versus you with the world still asleep. No one is watching. Which means the only reason to get up is pride, integrity, devotion. Shugyō. And here's a statistic that should shock you into attention. A major CDC analysis found that about 1 in 3 adults in the US don't get enough sleep. 1 in 3. That means the normal life around you is already sleep-deprived and drifting. So when you say everyone's tired, you're not describing a rare problem. You're describing a widespread collapse. And if you model your life after the average, you will inherit the average weakness. Let that sink in. Japanese monks don't win by having more energy than you. They win by not letting energy decide their actions. There's a difference between discipline and punishment. Satoshi hears, "Wake up early," and thinks it's punishment. Takeshi hears it and thinks it's training. Monks hear it and think it's purification. If you want to understand their secret, you have to understand how they treat the moment of resistance. When the body says, "No," that's not a stop sign. That's the starting bell. That's the exact moment where shugyō begins. You've been waiting to feel ready. That's why you keep failing. The monk doesn't wait for readiness. He practices obedience to intention, and you don't need a monastery to do that. You need a system of force and a mindset that makes disobedience painful. Here's the truth bomb. You can't wake up early because you've made staying in bed too easy and getting up too abstract. Your bed is warm. Your phone is close. Your alarm has a snooze button, an official permission slip to betray yourself. And your morning has no immediate demand. So your brain does what it's designed to do. It chooses the option with the highest comfort and lowest cost. So if you want to change this, stop begging yourself to be strong. Start redesigning the battlefield. Takeshi would tell you, the real problem is not that you sleep in. The real problem is you keep giving yourself an exit. You set a goal, then you build secret doors around it. Snooze. Just today. I'll recover later. It doesn't matter. Those are escape doors. And as long as escape exists, you will take it on the mornings you feel weak, which is exactly when you need discipline most. So here's the contrast. Satoshi builds a life where his moods vote. Takeshi builds a life where his moods vote. Takeshi builds a life where his mission commands. The monk builds a life where the self is trained, not pampered. And once you see that, waking early stops being a habit and becomes a statement. I do what I say. Now I'm going to give you a new mindset, and it's going to feel intense at first, but it's clean. It's simple. It's monk logic. You will stop trying to wake up early, and instead, you will practice one thing: immediate obedience. Not forever, not for the rest of your life. Just for the next moment. When the alarm rings, you will not ask how you feel. You will not negotiate. You will not analyze. You will move. Because the first 10 seconds are the battlefield. That's where the war is decided. If you lie there thinking you've already lost, your mind will produce 1,000 reasons. It's a factory of excuses. Don't debate a factory. Cut the power. Immediate obedience means your body moves before your mind begins its speech. And to make that possible, you'll use 3 monk-level constraints. First constraint: remove the option to renegotiate. That means no snooze. None. Satoshi loves snooze because it lets him keep the fantasy of discipline while still choosing comfort. Takeshi calls that self-deception with better branding. Disable it. If you can't disable it, put the phone across the room so snooze costs effort. You are not trying to be strong. You are making weakness inconvenient. Second constraint: pre-commit your first movement. Choose a physical action that begins the morning without thought. For monks, it might be washing the face with cold water. For you, it can be the same. It can be standing and turning on a light. It can be feet on the floor, straight to the bathroom, water on the face. The point is not the water. The point is the ritual that bypasses negotiation. Third constraint: attach consequence to disobedience. Right now, sleeping in costs you nothing. So it continues. You need a consequence that hits immediately. If you fail to get up at the first alarm, you owe something painful, not symbolic. Painful. 50 burpees, a cold shower, or you donate money to a cause you dislike. You must feel the sting in the same hour you disobey. Monks don't use motivation. They use structure, and structure creates freedom. Satoshi will complain, "That's extreme." Takeshi will respond, "Your life is already extreme. You're just living the extreme of drift. Now let's make this real. Imagine tomorrow morning, the alarm rings. The familiar fog arrives. Your mind begins, And you cut it off. You sit up immediately. Not gracefully, not heroically, mechanically. Your feet hit the floor. You stand. You walk. Cold water. Light. Movement. And as you do it, you will feel something strange. Anger. Not at the morning at yourself, at how often you've surrendered. That anger is fuel. Use it, because what you're really doing is restoring your authority. Every time you obey the alarm, you're telling your mind, my word is law. After a week, something shifts, not magically, not comfortably, but structurally. Your brain stops treating the alarm like a suggestion. It begins to treat it like a trigger, a command. And once your identity changes, once you become someone who gets up, it gets easier. Not because mornings change, but because you do. Now, let's talk about the mistakes people make so you don't sabotage this. Mistake 1. Trying to wake up early while going to bed like an idiot. Shugyō is not self-destruction. If you sleep at 1 a.m. and demand 5 a.m., you're not disciplined, you're unstable. Move bedtime earlier by 15 minutes every few nights. Keep it boring. Keep it consistent. Monks respect rhythm. Mistake 2. Making mornings aspirational instead of mandatory. You tell yourself you'll wake early to journal, meditate, read, work out, start a business, become a new person. That's too much. Your half-asleep brain hears that and says, absolutely not. Your only job at first is to get out of bed on the first alarm. That's it. Your victory condition must be small and brutal. Stand up. Cold water. Light on. Done. Mistake 3. Using your phone in bed. The moment you scroll, you inject dopamine into your nervous system while still under the blanket. You train your brain that bed is not for sleeping, it's for pleasure. Then you wonder why you can't leave it. Keep the phone away. If you need an alarm, use a separate alarm clock. If you can't, put the phone across the room and do not touch it until you've completed your first movement ritual. Mistake 4. Treating failure like proof you're broken. Monks fail too. The difference is they don't romanticize it. They return to practice immediately. If you mess up one morning, you don't start over Monday. That's Satoshi thinking. Takeshi says, you missed the target. Adjust. Continue. Now here's your challenge. Simple, specific, and it will reveal exactly who you are. For the next 7 days, you will do this. Set one alarm. Place it across the room. Before you sleep, whisper one sentence out loud. When it rings, I stand. Not I'll try. Not I hope. Stand. When it rings, you have one rule. Your feet must touch the floor within 10 seconds. Not 30, not after I think. 10. Then immediately splash cold water on your face. Immediately. No scrolling. No sitting back down. Cold water is your seal. Your mind will hate it, and that's why it works. It stamps the morning with seriousness. If you fail, you pay the consequence that same morning. No excuses, no bargaining. Do that for 7 days and something will happen that most people never experience. You will start to trust yourself again. Because the real reward of waking early isn't the extra time. It's the return of self-respect. It's the moment you realize you can command your own body. And once you can do that, everything else becomes possible. So here's the specific action step. Right after this ends, go to your alarm settings and turn off snooze. Then place your phone charger across the room. Tonight, before you sleep, write your wake-up time on a piece of paper and put it where you'll see it when you stand. Make it unavoidable. And I want to ask you something. Honestly, when the alarm rings tomorrow, who is going to win? Satoshi, the negotiator, or Takeshi, the commander? Tell me in the comments what time you're committing to for the next 7 days and what consequence you'll use if you fail.